Most people think urban legends are just stories told to scare kids. But some legends are different. They don't stay in books. They don't stay online. They wait for drivers, for empty roads, for nights when you're tired enough to ignore your instincts. And if you ever pick up a hitchhiker who doesn't blink, who doesn't check their phone, who gives you an address but no name, it may already be too late. Tonight's story is based on one of the most reported urban legends in North American history. A legend so consistent that police departments, grieving families, and complete strangers all describe the same impossible encounter. This is the Vanishing Hitchhiker. Mark had driven that highway hundreds of times. It cut through a stretch of forest just outside the city. No streetlights, no businesses, just asphalt and trees swallowing sound. At night, it felt longer than it really was. That night, fog rolled in without warning. His headlights barely pierced it, turning the road into a glowing tunnel of white and shadow. He was tired, the kind of tired where your thoughts lag half a second behind your eyes. That's when he saw her, a figure standing perfectly still on the road. She wasn't waving. She wasn't pacing. She wasn't trying to flag anyone down. She was just waiting. Mark slowed instinctively. As he passed, his headlights illuminated her face, young, pale, soaked, as if she'd been standing in rain. She wore a light blue dress that looked completely out of place for the cold. He checked his rearview mirror. She was watching him drive away. That should have been the end of it. But something twisted in his stomach. Not fear, exactly more like guilt. Like leaving someone behind who wasn't supposed to be alone. He pulled over. The moment the car stopped, the passenger door opened. She got in without asking. The first thing Mark noticed was the cold. Not air conditioning cold. Not open window cold. A deep, unnatural chill that crawled across his skin. She sat stiffly in the seat, hands folded in her lap. Her hair clung to her cheeks as if damp, though it hadn't rained in hours. "Are you okay?" Mark asked. She nodded once. Her eyes looked back at the windshield. "Where are you headed?" She spoke so softly, he almost didn't hear her. Just an address, a few miles ahead. No name, no explanation. As they drove, the silence thickened. Mark tried again. "You from around here?" No response. He glanced over. She hadn't blinked once. At a stoplight, he noticed something strange. Her reflection wasn't showing up clearly in the window, just a blur. Then the light turned green. They drove on. That's when she finally spoke again. "Can you slow down here?" Her voice carried no emotion, only certainty. Mark eased off the gas. Moments later, his headlights revealed a sharp curve ahead, one he usually took too fast. Tire marks scarred the pavement, disappearing into the trees. He swallowed. "People crash here," she added. Before he could respond, the cold intensified. He turned his head. The passenger's seat was empty. Mark slammed on the brakes. The car skidded to a stop in the middle of the road. He stared at the empty seat. The door was closed. The lock was still down. No sound, no movement. His heart hammered as he jumped out, shouting into the fog, scanning the trees, the ditch, the road behind him. Nothing. No footprints. No sign a human had ever been there. Inside the car, the seat was damp, not spilled water. Condensation, like something cold, had been sitting there. Shaking, Mark continued to the address she gave him. A small, aging house stood at the end of a quiet street. He knocked. An elderly woman opened the door. When Mark explained the girl, the dress, the address, her expression collapsed into grief she'd clearly lived with for decades. Without a word, She turned and returned, holding a framed photograph. It was the girl. Same face, same dress. My daughter, the woman whispered. She died 23 years ago. Mark felt the room tilt. She was killed on that road, the woman continued. On her way home, Mark thought it was a coincidence. Until he searched local newspapers, police logs, online forums. The same story repeated again and again. Different drivers, same road, same girl. Some said she vanished mid-sentence. Others claimed she warned them about accidents moments before disappearing. In California, she had a different name. In New Jersey, a white dress. In Texas, she appeared near an old dance hall. But the details never changed. Always polite, always quiet, always gone. One report mentioned something chilling. A driver had given her his jacket. Days later, it was found neatly folded, placed on a grave with her name on it. Another driver reported handprints on the inside of his windshield, appearing hours later, as if pressed from the wrong side. And one man claimed she didn't disappear right away. He said she leaned close and whispered, "Don't pick up the next one." Some believe she's a ghost, reliving her final journey. Others believe she's a warning, appearing to drivers who are about to die, steering them away from their fate. But there's another theory, that not every hitchhiker vanishes. That sometimes the wrong one gets in. And the legend exists not to scare you, but to make sure you remember which ones to leave behind. So if you're driving alone one night and you see someone standing perfectly still on the roadside, ask yourself carefully, are they asking for a ride? Or are they making sure you never reach the place you were headed? Urban legends survive because someone lived to tell them, and the vanishing hitchhiker, she's still out there, waiting. Would you pick up a hitchhiker late at night? Let us know in the comments if anything like this has ever happened to you. Subscribe for more scary Reddit stories, true horror tales, and creepy narrations every week.